So how did you get on with that assignment? So hopefully it was pretty easy. So each of the buttons, so for example this is gun button, should have 4 elements. Gun stats on this one is active, knife stats, bat stats and axe stats are all inactive. Same on the axe button, only this time it's the axe stats that is active. Bat button, this time it's the bat stats, and obviously knife stats, the knife stats are active. Alright, great. So what I'm going to do first of all is click on the knife stats, down to the gun stats, all of them, and I'm just going to switch those off. So I'm going to deactivate them to begin with. So then now when we test this, and we press I, we can see that there's no stats at all because we've not got anything selected. But then when I click knife, it comes on, or I click bat and it changes. Click axe and it changes to the axe. Click gun, maybe back to bat. Okay, so it's now interactive now. Okay, depending on what I've got selected. And bear in mind, whatever I've got selected remains red. Alright, so it's acting like a real inventory menu now. But it's not very responsive in terms of actually changing anything in the game. So what we want to do now is we want to get it so that when we click on one of these buttons, it does actually change a weapon that you're holding and indicate that you've changed it as well by playing a sound. Okay, so that's what we're going to do in this video. So first of all, we need to go back to our scripts. We need to go back into the save script, and we're going to change this. We're going to change the weapon ID and the weapon change. Okay, so to do this, we're going to access the inventory script. We're going to access a function that exists in there. So to do this, let's say we go to the knife button. All right, and we add another one of these. Okay, another on click. We find our inventory menu panel. We just basically drag that in, and you can see that I've put the inventory script on the canvas, not on the menu panel, sorry. So the knife button, I'm actually just going to get rid of that one that I've just put on there. So just press minus to get rid of it. Plus, it's actually going to be the canvas itself that I'm just going to drag onto there. Now you can see that I've got access to this inventory script and all of these elements. Okay, from here I can actually I can run any function I want as long as it's publicly available. So I need to create a public function so that I can select it from here. Okay, so that's what we're going to do. Just after the void update, we're going to press enter a couple of times, and we're going to say public void, and let's call it choose knife. Okay, and this, what it's going to do, it's going to talk to the save script, and it's going to tell it that the weapon ID is now going to be equal to 1, and it's going to force it to change the weapon by once again talking to the save script dot weapon change, which is a boolean, so it's going to equal true. Alright, forcing it to change weapons. Great, so what I'm going to do now is copy all of this by highlighting it, press Ctrl and C. Okay, Ctrl and V, Ctrl and V, Ctrl and V. Alright, so instead of choose knife, this one is now going to be choose bat, as in baseball bat. The weapon ID for this one is going to be number 2. Instead of choose knife, this one's going to be choose axe. Maybe spell that correctly. Weapon ID is now going to be number 3. And this one is obviously going to be choose gun. And weapon ID is equal to 4. Alright, great. So now we have those functions that changes the weapons. So let's just save that. With the knife button selected, we've already got our canvas in there. And if we go to the inventory script, you can now see that I've got those functions that we've just created. So because this is knife, I'm going to run the choose knife command. Alright, but I also wanted to play a sound as well. So to do that, I'm going to create an empty game object. Doesn't matter where it appears, and instead of it being called game object 1, I'm going to call this one UI sound. It needs a component, an audio component, and it's an audio source. And we're going to drag this select sound into the audio clip and ensure that it does not play on awake. Okay, we're going to be calling this one by script. So under the knife button, we're now going to click plus, and we're going to drag this UI sound into the slot there. And under the function, we're going to go to audio source and play. Alright, so that whenever you click on that, it will then play that audio. Alright, and it's a one shot, so it will only play once. And that will actually choose the knife. Okay, so let's try this out. So I'm just going to press play on the game. So as you can see, it doesn't start with the inventory menu already selected. I'm going to press number 3 on my keyboard and then right click. So you can see now I've got my axe. I'm going to press I to come into the inventory menu so we can see the axe is there. Now I don't think I've got any audio on playing on this at the moment, so we won't hear the audio, but I'll do that on the walkthrough. You'll be able to hear that. And I'm now going to choose the knife. And did you see it change? Yep, so it changed over to the knife, so that now when I come out, I've got the knife. Alright. However, it did play the attack there, so I'll look into that. So it's quite easy to set that up. So all I want you to do now, this is your mini task, is to set up the bat, axe and gun, so that when you click on them, it actually changes those weapons.